Tonight, live from Tel Aviv, where the U.S. is ramping up its efforts to get Americans out, and Israel says they're preparing for a coordinated attack. Fighting on Israel's south and north, while inside Gaza, Americans trapped, unable to get out. But the border may now open within hours, and the ship now coming to Israel to evacuate Americans. Our interview with the U.S. senators on the ground here at one point rushed to a bomb shelter. The deadly explosion inside Gaza, this caravan of civilians hit. Hamas says dozens were killed, including children, but Israel pushing back, saying it wasn't them. What we know right now: desperate hours at hospitals inside the Palestinian territory, 35,000 now sheltering at one hospital. Food, water, and medicine running dangerously low. While in Israel, we're with doctors preparing for war. Our first look at the weapons Hamas fighters used in their deadly attack. Did they come from Iran? The new warning from the FBI director about terror threats in the U.S.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, reporting tonight, live from Israel.
Good evening from here in Tel Aviv, where Israel says they are preparing a coordinated attack on Hamas by land, air, and sea. The clear reference to the anticipated ground offensive came as Israel faced exchanges of rocket fire today in the north as well as the south of the country. This evening, a State Department spokesperson says the number of Americans killed in this conflict has risen to 30. 13 are unaccounted for. Amid it all, tens of thousands of refugees are fleeing northern Gaza any way they can. And there is an all-out effort by the U.S. government to get Americans out, too. This is the scene at the Rafah border, the exit from Gaza into Egypt, where some Americans have been among those waiting for days to be let in. Secretary of State Antony Blinken crisscrossing the region again today in Egypt, pushing to secure that passage. We've also learned tonight that some Americans will be leaving Israel by sea beginning tomorrow. Tom Yamas is here in Tel Aviv and starts us off tonight.
Tonight, Israel in clashes north and south of its borders. Attacks from Hezbollah in Lebanon leading to retaliation strikes, while rockets launch in and out of Gaza. The Israeli military is amassing troops and equipment along the border for a ground invasion that everyone knows is coming, but few know when it will start. Inside Gaza,
that was NBC Lester Holt. He was giving us that was a segment on NBC with Lester Holt. He's in Palestinian Israel area. He's on the press and he's telling us what's going on. And this is Hamas' fault. All of what you're seeing is Hamas' fault. Israel did nothing wrong. Hamas went and attacked Israel, and this is the consequences of attacking an unprovoked country. It's going to be war and civilians are going to die. And the Jewish people are so kind to tell the civilians to leave that area. And, Hamas is stopping the Palestinians from leaving that area because Hamas wants the Palestinians to die with them. That's how evil Hamas is. And there are people in America and around the world chanting pro-Hamas, anti-Israel. You're in for a wild treat. If you think that the Jewish people aren't civilized, wait till you meet the Hamas Palestinians people. The Palestinian Hamas people, they are awful. They're awful. Welcome the Jews to your town. At least the women are equal in the Jewish religion and they treat children and grandparents with respect. Hamas is very disrespectful towards women. Women are less in Palestine. And this is why I do not understand why people are chanting for Hamas when Hamas does not even like women, children, and grandparents. How do we know this? They kidnap women, children, and grandchildren for the Israel thing. Anybody who takes an old person has no respect for the elder. Anybody who takes a child during a wartime has no respect for children. Hamas does not care for anyone, and Israel is just the beginning. What they do to Israel, they plan to do to the world. So that is why we are against Hamas attacking Israel, and this is why we are for Israel, because Israel represents civilization in the Middle East. All right? Israel is the most civilized nation there is in the Middle East, and embrace them and have them embraced because you don't want Hamas to take over. I'm Tisha Powell. Go ahead and hit that free like and that free subscribe button. We are getting up to 100,000 subscribers, and then we're going to give out some free cash and prizes. So subscribe so you could be one of the lucky ones to get free cash and prizes, providing your territory that you're in allows it. Okay? We've got subscribers all over the world, and we welcome you always. Go ahead and check out the nice tag products today from Sephora. They are gorgeous, they are lovely, they are spectacular. Now you can shop and watch your favorite YouTube channel at the same time. How lovely, how awesome. And we need to go back to talking about the Hamas and the Israel conflict. This is older than time. As you saw what Lester Holt was talking about, the people from the civilians from Hamas have to leave. Also, there are American people that are there that need to get out. So the American government need to work on getting the people out, the Americans that are in Israel or Hamas out. And I hope that the civilians in Palestine and the Gaza Strip are listening to what the Jewish people are saying, and they're fleeing because they did nothing wrong. The Jews just want to go after the bad guys, which are the Hamas, the terrorist group. They do not want to go after all the Palestinians because all Palestinians are not bad. It's just a bunch of Hamas people that are bad, and they're hiding in Palestine because that's what they do. They are thugs and they are cowards. They hide among the innocent. That's what Hamas does. It doesn't want to, give an account for its bad behavior. So it hide amongst civilians, making it harder for the Jewish people to target. So it's going to be a nasty war, and expect the inflation to go on because this is now our second war that we're fighting on earth, and wars are never good. And Hamas must have known that the war would not be good. It's not going to be good for anybody. It's not good for Americans. It's not good for Jews. It's not good for Palestinians. It's not good for anybody. The inflation is going to continue on because of this war. And I don't think Hamas cares much that the inflation will continue on. It's just a bunch of thugs. Hamas is just a bunch of thugs that must be dealt with. And Israel is going to deal with you accordingly, Hamas. I'm Tisha Powell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other.